welcome to the Wealthy LaLa show with myself, Laurie Laursen. Today is episode 222, 222. It's my mother-in-law's 87th birthday today. Could you imagine? Yeah, she was quite a lady. And I say was in the past tense, in the fact that she's had dementia now increasing dementia for maybe about 5 years now. And so who she was before and who she is now is quite different. You know, there's parts of her that are still there, but the sweetness and the presence and the gratitude she had for all of us and stuff like that, she struggles with, because for her, just staying present in every moment, or present, like she wants to hold on so tightly to try and keep everything together by writing everything down and then writing it down over again and then writing it down over again. She just keeps herself in this loop of not able to really be anywhere because she's so worried about whether she's, recording it or holding on to it or where she's supposed to be. So we just, lovingly receive her the way she is. And I'm so grateful that I had her for as long as I did, the way, she was. And onward and forward kind of thing. So anyways, I don't know where that came from. But you know what I wanted to talk about today? This last couple weeks, my one knee has been bothering me. And, I really started to look at how I was just not letting it go. It's like when you go to try to have a baby and you keep thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, and finally you give up and you let it go, and then boom, it happens. That kind of thing. It's like, how do I let this go? Especially because when you go to walk anywhere, which is just going to the bathroom or going to the kitchen or going outside or whatever, a person's aware of it because you can feel it, right? And I was so grateful. I was actually sent an Abraham video this morning, and it had information in it that just sort of assisted me in getting out of what I've, been creating. Like yesterday, I was, when I really started to recognize how stuck in it that I was, and you know how I'm doing It's Not Your Money book by Tasha Silver. Actually, what I was reading in it yesterday, she was actually talking about that, like really letting go of things. Like she actually, one of her things is to get like she calls it a God box. So, God source, divine box. And anything that you're worried or you're concerned about or fretting over, anything, embarrassed about, shamed about, whatever, you can actually write it down on a piece of paper and put it in your God box. And whenever it comes up again, you just allow yourself to just, no, right, I put it in the God box, God's taking care of it. So, and let it truly go there. And you may have to remind yourself 1, 2, 5, 700 times. And every time you do, it's a choice to allow a different possibility. And what I've really noticed with when I hear Esther Hicks channel Abraham talks about just getting to a place of relief, like just allowing yourself to have some relief, which is what letting go can create for you. And then how something can actually, create change with it. And, it was funny because my daughter was looking for a cute little headband that our granddaughter had worn to the baby shower. She wanted to take some pictures of her again with this little outfit that had the little poofy bum and the little, headband thing, right? The headband thing that parents, for the most part, love, but kids hate. Those things, but she looks so cute in it. And so she texts me and she says, "Mom, I can't find it." And, did you see it? Did it get thrown away? And so anyways, because she remembered having it at the shower. She remembered having it in her hand because she thought she saw it on the table and thought, I don't want it to get lost. So I'm going to go and pick it up and put it in the diaper bag. And then she remembered having it, but she didn't remember what she actually ended up doing with it. So she thought maybe she'd left it on the table when she stopped to visit with someone and on her way to the diaper bag. Anyways, the next thing you know, I'm sending a message to the other girls that helped decorate and helped clean up, and nobody recalled seeing it. And then, to one of the other girls' mother-in-laws or mums, and then, I had jokingly said, oh, Madeline, my granddaughter, may have created it being disappeared because she wasn't really a fan of it. And just to bring in some humor. And then I was like, you know what? We're going to find it. I know we're going to find it. And my sense was that it was still in the diaper bag. Now, one thing I've heard Abraham say is that when you go to looking for something and you are in the energy or the sense of it being lost, that is what you will come across. You will look and look and look and look. And even Abraham or Esther talked about a time that she had a beautiful pen in her purse and she was trying to dig it out, couldn't find it. She'd emptied out her purse, looked inside like probably 3-4 times, and had decided it was lost. And then, I don't know, later that day, a couple days later, whatever, puts her hand in her purse, pulls out something that she's going to get, like a lip gloss or lipstick or something, and out she pulls this pen. So when we give ourselves the relief for something, and that's what I got, like with my daughter, when I shared with her, and like I haven't done this a couple times in my life, right? So as we all have. So anyways, in reassuring her, because my sense was we would find it, that it wasn't actually lost. It didn't get thrown away in the garbage. So it was going to be somewhere. And in bringing in that invitation of, I get that we're going to find it, and her having reached out to people and knew other people were looking, that's the relief that gets created. And when that relief gets created, that actually brings in the space for the solution or the finding to occur. And no kidding, within about a half an hour, she texts me back and she says, Mom, I found it. It was at the bottom of the diaper bag. And that's actually how funny. The same thing with my knee right now is that, yesterday I actually was able to go out of the house for most of the day with my daughter and granddaughter. She had some returns and exchanges to do. And so it's easier with 2 people, so you don't have to haul in a baby every time, especially if she's sleeping. So, it just created, the whole day. And I got home and I thought, wow, I wasn't even sure if I could go. And here I went and it worked out so well. And so this morning when I woke up and my knee was sore, it was more sore than it was in the night, which is what was interesting, was that it was like it got worse in the morning. And I actually really, by listening to the Abraham video and then saying to myself, Laurie, there's 2 ways I could go with this. Well, there's more than 2 ways, but I can go towards giving myself some relief with it, or I could go towards like stressing about it. And so I started the stressing one. I was like, oh my God, look at how bad it is. Is this ever going to change? What am I doing wrong? Yeah, that's a good one. That's always helpful. And then I went, you know what? What would actually create relief here? Number 1, listening to the video helped. Number 2, I was like, well, I actually did feel better yesterday. Well, if it felt better yesterday, it could feel better again. What if I just need to let it go? Oh, right. All right. All right. I reminded myself, I'm going to put it in the God box. Even if it was just energetically putting it in the God box. And, because how much of the pain that we experience in our body is actually the tension of the resistance to the pain, the anticipation of the pain that actually ends up creating the pain as greater. So there was actually this article that I saw on Facebook the other day, the holy simplicity of sitting with our pain. Excuse me. Sitting with our pain is such a simple act and yet can be one of the hardest things to do. And feeling our pain and not rushing in to fix it, numb it, avoid it, or cover it up takes enormous courage. This is where surrender and or letting go or putting it in the God box comes in. We reach a point in our healing where we've read all the books, consulted all the gurus, tried all the fancy techniques, and all that's left is the last thing we want to do. Is the last thing that we want to do is feel our painful feelings. Ironically, sitting with our pain is precisely what will eventually bring us all the things we're looking for through avoiding it. A major key to healing emotional wounding is the willingness to discover or endure discomfort for the sake of transformation. This willingness is essential to truly coming out the other side of, in this particular article, it's talking about childhood wounds. So, anyways, this is like, how many of us are able to actually sit with ourselves, whether we are in physical pain, emotional pain, I wonder, like with all this, mental health stuff that's being talked about, like how many of us have been, what was the term? Almost like a self-regulation, self-resilient, I can't remember the term right now. But when you're able to self-support yourself, like how many of us were actually taught how to do that? That, when you're stressed, you then stop, you take the time, or when you can, maybe not in that moment. Like for me, I was up in the night. I got woken up in the night again. And I was aware that, something was bothering me. And the way I knew at this particular time, because sometimes it'll be just that I can't sleep and my mind's running. And so I'll get up and do EMDR or EFT or something. The other thing is, like last night, my knee was sore, not as sore as it was this morning, but it was sore and I had a lot of judgment about it. And when I realized that judgment is not assisting me in being the nurturing and the kindness to me that I desire to create for myself. Like really, really allowing myself to, sit with myself, be with myself, and find out what that pain is and what information it has for me, and then allow myself to use tools to create greater, to create ease, to create relief with it. And, and the tools, maybe even phoning a friend, it's not always having to do it by ourselves, and allowing ourselves to be comforted and like just that, and so like with my knee, I'm like, aren't I lucky? I don't actually have to do anything physically today. I don't think I have to cut grass. That might be a tomorrow chore. I don't have to go anywhere today. I can take my time to ice my knee. I can do some more EMDR and EFT on it. I just know that I don't want to leave myself anymore. If my granddaughter was fussing, I'm not going to like throw her down on the bed and just go, oh my God, like, can't you just shut up? Here, take some pills. Here, can we just muffle her in a room or something like that? Like, we would never do that. And yet we do that with ourselves. And I tell you, I certainly don't take medication. If you know that you need to take something, as I have many times, to create the relief, because sometimes the pain, whether it's emotional or physical, just gets too great that you need to take something. Like in my earlier shows when I talked about that jaw pain that I had, I mean, I could have went crazy had I not taken anything to create the ease. But knowing that, it's like, is now the time Is this actually going to create greater? Because only we can know, and this is where that light and heavy, asking a question, does it create greater to take something in this moment? Yes or no. If it's a yes, take it. And if it's a no, then it's like, okay, what else can I do to create? Okay, body, let's do some EMDR. Let's do some EFT. Let's phone a friend and let's see what changes over the next hour, and then maybe take something then. And yeah, because I could really tell that when I gave myself some space to just be with myself with my knee this morning, and I went, this is changeable. This has changed before. And I wonder how much the stress of me worrying about it is what's holding it in place, right? We can usually see that when someone else is doing that, but we have a harder time seeing that when we're choosing that for ourselves. So anyways, if there's anything that you guys are struggling with today, anything that's painful, is there any place, physically or emotionally, is there any place where you can just find a little bit of relief? I don't have to take care of it in this 10 seconds. I'm really grateful that, for whatever. Like, let whatever it be in the smallest increments that you can to allow yourself some relief, to then give yourself some space, to be the nurturing and the kindness that we would truly give to other people, that I get is now the time to really bring it into our own world. So anyways, thanks for listening, you guys. This is the Wealthy LaLa signing off today. And have a great one.